All right, let's jump right in. What if I told you that a 300-year-old puzzle holds a secret key to understanding your entire relationship with money? Seriously. And we're not talking about complicated spreadsheets or scary market charts. It's a simple game, a game that can totally change how you think about what it means to be truly wealthy. I am so excited to unpack this one with you. So, let's start with a really direct question for you. Picture this. You're at a magical carnival, right? And there's this one game booth, but the prize isn't some giant stuffed animal. It's a chance to win a potentially infinite amount of money. So, what's the price of a ticket? How much would you actually be willing to pay to play that game? Just think about it for a second. Okay, so the rules are super simple, and this is the heart of the puzzle. It's called the St. Petersburg game. I flip a coin. If it lands on heads the very first time, boom, you win $2. Cute. But if it's tails, I flip again. If you get heads on the second try, you get $4. We just keep going, doubling the prize money every single time until we finally hit heads. You could win 8, 16, 32. You get it. It just keeps going up. It sounds like a pretty fun, low-risk way to win some lunch money, doesn't it? Right. It feels simple. But this is where our human brains and pure mathematics have a bit of a disagreement. Because according to the math, the expected value of this game isn't just a few dollars. The potential payout is, believe it or not, mathematically infinite. So a purely logical, rational person, what economists used to call the economic man, should be willing to bet everything they own, their house, their savings, everything, for just one single chance to play this game. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on. Infinity? That just feels so wrong. My gut is literally screaming, no way. I mean, maybe I'd pay $5 for a ticket. 25 if I was feeling really adventurous. But bet my entire life savings? Absolutely not. There's a really good chance I'd just walk away with $2. So what is going on here? Is the math totally broken, or is my gut just completely leading me astray?
Exactly. That's the real puzzle, isn't it? It makes you wonder, are we all just bad at making financial decisions? Is our intuition, that thing that guides us through life, totally broken when it comes to money and risk? That's kind of a scary thought.
Well, it's not broken at all. In fact, your intuition is onto something brilliant. And the answer came way, way back in 1738 from a mathematician named Daniel Bernoulli. He solved this puzzle by introducing this beautiful concept called utility. Instead of just thinking about the dollar amount, he thought about what that money does for you. You can think of it like happiness points. The real value of money isn't just the number, it's the joy, the security, and the well-being it brings into your life. In this chart just illustrates it perfectly. That very first $1,000 you ever get, it's life-changing. That's rent, that's food on the table, that's a feeling of security. It gives you a massive boost of happiness points. But okay, the next 100,000, it's wonderful, for sure, but the happiness boost you get is quite a bit smaller. And a billionaire earning one more dollar, they probably wouldn't even notice. The utility, the actual happiness they get from that extra dollar is almost zero. This is exactly why you wouldn't bet your life savings on the coin game. Losing your first, most important dollars would be absolutely devastating, way more painful than the potential joy of winning millions. Ooh, I love that. That makes so much more sense. It's not about chasing infinite money. It's about protecting the happiness we already have. But wait, there's actually more to the story. It gets even deeper. In the 1970s, two psychologists uncovered another layer to how our money brain works. A really powerful twist that explains why we're so incredibly cautious.
That's right. Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky, two giants in their field, developed what's called prospect theory. And one of its most powerful findings is something called loss aversion. Now, what's really fascinating here is just how strong this feeling is. Their research showed that the psychological sting of losing, say, $100, feels roughly twice as intense as the joy you feel from gaining that same $100. Our brains are basically hardwired to avoid pain, which means we naturally prioritize not losing over winning.
And this leads to such a funny little quirk in our behavior. Psychologists call it the reflection effect. When we're in a position of gaining, like, say, our stocks are up a little bit, we tend to get really cautious. We want to cash out, lock in that win, and protect it. But if we're facing a loss, we suddenly become total gamblers. We get daring, and we're willing to take these huge risks just to try and get back to even, all to avoid the pain of actually admitting we lost. It's like our whole personality flips depending on if we're up or down. So you see, this isn't just some fun historical thought experiment. This 300-year-old puzzle and all the modern science that followed
give us a powerful blueprint for building a happier, more peaceful financial life right now. It teaches us to shift our focus away from just piling up numbers in an account and toward actually investing for our own well-being. And I just love this idea from Morgan Housel's fantastic book, The Psychology of Money. The ultimate goal isn't $1 billion. It's not infinite returns from some carnival game. The highest form of wealth is simply waking up in the morning and being able to say, I can do whatever I want today. It's about having enough to have complete control over your time and your life. That's the real prize. It's true freedom. Exactly. So we can take all these big ideas and translate them into a simple, comforting checklist for tending to our own financial gardens. First, figure out what enough actually means for you and your freedom. Then, soothe that loss-averse part of your brain by building a beautiful rainy day garden, your emergency savings, so you never have to make decisions out of fear. And when you invest, just remember that while big wins are exciting, the real secret to long-term success is avoiding those devastating losses. That's why diversifying is so key. It's not just about returns, it's about protecting your peace of mind from the market's little mood swings. So maybe the St. Petersburg puzzle was never really about the math. Maybe it was always a question about what we truly value. And that leaves us with this final thought to carry with you. What if we measured our wealth not by the size of our portfolio, but by how well we sleep at night? What if real financial success is less about chasing infinity and more about building a life of security, freedom, and deep peace? That just might be the real secret hidden in that 300-year-old game.